Did I say sell in May and go away? I meant June. I meant June. Investor Beat starts now. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Hill. The Dow rose more than 4% in the month of May. Hewlett-Packard was down today, but it's been the number one performer in the Dow so far in 2013 with a gain of 75%. Joining me in studio today, Ron Gross and Charlie Travers. And guys, let's face it, the rise of the market has confounded a lot of the so-called experts. What do you think is going on here? How much of it is QE? Is it a combination of factors? What do you think?
I think people just like stocks, Chris, and the whole...
It's that simple?
That's just that simple. Sell in May and go away doesn't really work. There was empirical evidence, supposedly, that said if you stayed out of the market until around Halloween and then bought back in, you'd get better returns than if you owned stocks throughout the year. I think that's fairly debunked by other academics. But, I'll let those guys fight it out and get their tenure and all that. We'll just focus on buying good businesses.
And part of what's going on here, when you look at the economy writ large, is housing. Housing's been on fire lately.
Looks really good. Prices up 10% in the latest Schiller index. Anecdotally, my wife's a realtor. We see things really selling, multiple offers. Everything's very strong. Interest rates are very low. Won't stay like that forever, but for now, let's be happy.
Of course, the challenge, such as it exists, is finding value. If you're an investor and you're looking at stocks, where are you looking now to find value?
I think some large cap tech names are still unloved. Companies like Intel, Microsoft, the stocks have started to come up, but they're still good bargains.
All right, let's get to some of the day's movers and shakers. Krispy Kreme's first quarter profits up 33%. Shares are now trading at a 9-year high. You interested, Ron?
Boy, I wish I was interested before the 23% jump. This is one I've missed. Same-store sales were up 11% this quarter. That's very strong. They have plenty of growth opportunities, both internationally and here. It's largely a franchise opportunity. It's a franchise company for the most part, although they do have about 100 company-owned stores. So things are going very well. It's a little rich for me. We're talking maybe 20 times cash flow. That's a little bit rich, but if they keep putting up these kinds of numbers, I might get interested.
Get yourself a dozen and take a break. Shares of Guess moving higher. First quarter profits for the apparel retailer came in higher than expected. Charlie, I've said it before, I would never want to bet on teen fashion.
Nor would I, Chris. Higher than expected, but still more than cut in half, as performance in North America and Europe was absolutely abysmal. The bright spot for them is Asia, but Asia is much smaller sales-wise. I think the expectations were just a little bit too low here.
AIG falling today. The purchases of AIG's aircraft leasing unit missed a payment deadline on what had been a $4 billion deal, putting aside a financial company missing a payment deadline. You look at shares, they're trading around a 2-year high.
Yeah, AIG was, and I think still remains, undervalued. It's not the AIG that we know from the crisis. They're leaner,
thank goodness,
smarter underwriting, buying back shares. The government has gotten out of its position, still trading at a discount to its book value. So doing the right thing and still cheap. I don't think the fact that they might not end up selling this leasing division should change the thesis much.
And finally, Lionsgate Entertainment up after strong fourth quarter results. Home video sales of the Twilight series getting the credit. What do you like better, the Twilight series or the stock?
Can I pick the Hunger Games? The stock's actually almost quadrupled since the beginning of 2012. It's been a really good period for Lionsgate and its shareholders. And when you have some franchises like Mad Men along with Hunger Games, which also has 3 more installments yet to come, I think the future looks pretty bright for this company.
All right, that is going to do it for this week. Let's look ahead to next week. Ron Gross, what's a stock you've got on your radar?
I'm going to take a look at Nathan's Famous, which reports earnings next week. The stock has done phenomenally. It's a small stock, but it's up 50% this year. I've just started to get interested in it. I missed it before, but it still might have some legs.
Krispy Kreme, Nathan's Famous?
There's a trend here.
Let's get this man some food. Charlie, what about you?
Looking at Sony with the involvement of Dan Loeb trying to break things up, this company that struggled, has a great brand, and Loeb has some good ideas to spin things off, shake things up, and maybe turn it around.
All right, for Charlie Travers and Ron Gross, I'm Chris Hill. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
People on the show may have interests in the stocks they talk about, and the Motley Fool may have formal recommendations for or against. Don't buy or sell stocks based solely on what you hear.